What's up, Spellslingers? Chris, Legendary Mana, and it's always great to see you. Shards of Alara marks a lot of first and new beginnings for Magic the Gathering. They reinvented how they released the sets, as well as introduced 3 color combinations. In this video, you will learn more about the history of Magic, Shards of Alara. The Plain of Alara, once whole, now broken into shards by the Sundering. The Sundering was a cataclysmic event. The cause was unknown, but it was told that a planeswalker drained its mana, and as a result, it broke the world into 5 shards. Bant, Esper, Grixis, Jund, and Naya. However, a second event called Conflux reunited the shards, which caused turmoil on the plane. This led to conflicts, especially for those who became trapped in the other shards' territory. This also marked the re-emergence of Progenitus, the 5-headed Hydra. Progenitus disappeared during the Sundering when the world broke apart. With the lack of blue and black mana in the Valley of the Ancients, 2 of its heads withered away, and the Hydra slumbered in the soil of Naya for many years. During the conflux when the 5 shards reunited, a chaotic mana storm occurred known as the Maelstrom, a plan by the ancient dragon planeswalker Nicol Bolas. He wanted to feed on Alara's rich mana to restore his lost power, but it was ultimately stopped by Ajani Goldmane. Next up, we move on to the Shards of Alara.
A shard is a series of 3 colors in an unbroken chain on the color pie. Each of the 3 colors are allied to the middle color, which is the primary color of the shard. The 5 shards of Alara, for centuries, were separated. Naya. The primary color is green with red and white as its secondary colors. It's inhabited by humans, beasts, elves, minotaurs, and a feline race called the Nacatl. When the shards realigned and Alara was reborn, Vedalken heretics from Esper migrated to Naya, while the Coatl snakes were created due to the influx of blue mana. Naya is also Ajani's birthplace. Bant. The primary color is white with green and blue as its secondary colors. It's inhabited by humans, Aven, Roxas, Leotau Mounts, and the angels that watch over the plane. The most notable inhabitant of Banth is Elspeth Tyrael. There are 5 nations within the shard: Akrasa, Eos, Topa, Jahes, and Valoran. Esper. The primary color is blue with white and black as its secondary colors. Esper is primarily inhabited by humans, Vedalkens, Sphinxes, and Homunculi, among others. It is also the native plane of Tezzeret. There are 23 sorts of winds on Esper, all of which are considered to have mystical significance by the Vedalken. Grixis. The primary color is black with blue and red as its secondary colors. Grixis is a world of death, darkness, undead, and a lot of other bad things. Due to the predominance of undeath, it's possible to find undead versions of Bant's Leotaus and Jund's Viashinos and Grixis. Before Grixis split off from the other megaplan of Alara, things were different. White and green mana still flourished here, and the land was called Vithia, a wide-aligned empire of humans and other races, a land with a proud dynasty of wise and honorable monarchs. Jund. The primary color is red with black, and green as secondary colors. Most of Jund is covered with active volcanoes that add a great measure of difficulty to the lives of its human population, the crocodilian Viashino, and its rat-like goblin inhabitants. While the volcanic activity hinders lesser races, it also bolsters the power of the dragons that dominate the land. Life on Jund is a never-ending struggle of survival of the fittest, expressed through the Devourer mechanic. According to the creatures and shamans of Jund, it's a world of pure freedom, as every creature is free to revel in their baser instincts. There is no authority or law to be found within the Shard, and the world has quickly devolved into a chaotic hellscape. Since Jund lacks blue and white mana, there is neither peace nor thought. Only instinct and brutality reign supreme.
Shards of Alara marked a lot of changes in how Wizards of the Coast created and released Magic the Gathering sets. It was the first set to introduce the mythic rarity, the replacement of a common in a booster pack for a basic land, the first time it was done outside of a core set. Block sets were reduced from 300 cards to 249, and Shards of Alara saw the return of Planeswalker cards. Most distinctly introduced the first ever multicolored Planeswalkers, most notably Nicol Bolas and Ajani Vengeance.
To understand this set in all of its glory, we should take a moment to talk about the design team. Shards of Alara was anything but typical. Ironically, the design team, led by Bill Rose, created 5 teams of 5 people, one for each of the 5 shards. Each of the shards has its own gameplay themes and its own stable of artists. The expansion symbol of the set is also a representation of the 5 shards.
Promotion of Shards of Alara was slightly different as well. Launch parties were events that featured a new format, the Theme Tournament, designed to highlight the fun and flavorful aspects of the set. The Theme Tournaments had the same structure as the pre-release tournaments, with a few additional rules. As players built their decks, they were required to choose one of the 5 shards. The mana cost of each card in a player's deck could only contain mana symbols that matched the chosen shard's 3 colors, much like how EDH is constructed today with commander cards. A deck could not generate mana outside its shard's colors. However, colorless cards could be played in any deck.